Hi there. So I brewed a second batch of my American wheat and I made three changes. So this is version two. The first change was, if you remember from the first batch, I had a better brew house efficiency than I expected. So I just adjusted the recipe for that change in efficiency. The second adjustment was for the grains. The first batch was just 50% Pilsner malt, 50% white wheat malt. This time around, I kept the white wheat malt at 50%. Pilsner malt was 38%, and I added a pound of Vienna malt to this recipe, and that's at about 12% of the recipe. I was just looking to get a little bit of malt complexity. The first batch was good. I just felt like it was missing something. I don't know, maybe adding a third grain in there, giving it a little bit of a bready flavor in addition to the wheat flavors. Just interested to see what that does to it. The third change I made was to the hops. Now, I kept the bittering hops the same, just a half ounce of Centennial for 60 minutes. What I did change was for the flavoring addition. The first time in the first batch, I did 1 ounce of Centennial. This time I cut Centennial down to half an ounce and I added in half an ounce of Belma hops. The reason I did that was, again, just to see if I could get some complexity of flavors. Belma hops are known to give kind of orange flavors and potentially slight tropical fruit flavors. So I'm really interested to see what half an ounce does to this recipe. So let's see. Right, here it is. This is my American wheat version 2. Again, changes were cut Centennial flavoring edition in half and added half an ounce of Belma hops. I cut down on the Pilsner malt and added a pound of Vienna malt. And I adjusted the recipe for the increased efficiency. I would say just from the looks alone, I can see a slight difference from the Vienna malt. The first batch that was all Pilsner and all white wheat malt was straw white in color. Just 1 pound of Vienna malt has added a nice little golden tinge to this batch that I really like. I think that looks really, really nice. Definitely getting, the same head retention, if not better, than the first time around. Still looks really, really nice. I would say it looks a little bit better than the first batch. Again, that nice golden color right through the center. I don't remember that being there the first time around. It looks really, really good. As far as aroma goes, not much going on with the aroma. A little bit of citrus, kind of like I'm getting like citrus but orange aroma, which I think is a slight difference as well. All right, cheers. That is good. It's very similar to the first batch still, as I'd expect, because I didn't change that much. Still very dry. I would say overall, it tastes very, very similar to the first batch. But just on the first sip, I did notice a little bit of a difference. I still get a doughy flavor from the wheat, but I think it's decreased a little bit, and I'm getting more of like just like a white bready flavor. So, I mean, like when I think of doughy, I think of unbaked bread. That's what I mean by doughy. When I'm saying white bread, it's baked a little bit. It's not like toasted malt flavor, but I think of white bread as being in between doughy and toasted malt flavors. And I'm getting a little bit of that in this, which is good. I like that addition of the Vienna malt. I think it worked out well. I think I'm going to keep it. As far as the grains go, I think I'm pretty happy. the more I drink it, the more I'm starting to taste the orange from the Belma hops. Now, I read Belma hops can contribute tropical fruit flavors. I'm not tasting any of that so far, but I am tasting more of like in the first batch with Centennial, with just all Centennial, I was getting a lot of citrus, but it wasn't really orange flavor. It was just citrus and a little bit. I know sometimes Centennial can give like a lemongrass type flavor, so it was a citrus flavor, but it wasn't really orange citrus. This is citrus with orange. So I would say it certainly is a little bit more complex than the first batch. I'm happy with the grains. I think I'm going to leave the grains the same. But I want to brew a third batch of this with only one change. And that would be, I think I want to increase the hops a little bit. Because while I am getting some flavors, I feel like they're kind of muted. I feel like they could be bumped up a notch.